How does one even start this whole YouTube guide video thing? Anyway, what's up, YouTube? Nope, that's not gonna work either. I know. Let's start with this. There is no way that this should be possible. Like right now, we are we're tanking out the ogre on no hope with hordes. Ah! Okay, that was close, but still, he's going. We tanked him out. And then we need some health back, so let's just grab some health back. So what's up, guys? So as you saw, the power of the melee build that we are running. So we were running on no hope difficulty with a grey machete, and we were still able to take down things like tall boys with ease. So guys, let's go through the cards and I will explain each card as we go through. Okay, so the most important card in your build is going to be the Meth Head card. The reason for this is because it's going to grant you a 5% melee speed and 5% melee stamina efficiency for 6 seconds each time you swing your melee weapons. So you don't even have to be hitting anything to be able to get it to its max stack. Now at its top, that will give you a 50% melee speed and melee stamina efficiency. 50% is huge. Combine that with the Brazen and Slugger cards. So Brazen is 15% melee stamina efficiency and 20% melee attack speed, and Slugger being 5 health, 10% melee stamina efficiency, and 20% melee attack speed. You're going to absolutely be destroying things with a 90% melee attack speed buff and a massive 75% melee stamina efficiency. So you combine this with the adrenaline fueled card, and this means that when you kill an enemy, you're gonna gain 5 stamina straight off the bat for each enemy you kill, and an additional 7 stamina over 7 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So these cards, the Slugger, the Brazen, the Adrenaline Fueled, and Meth Head, combined with the Battle Lust card, are the 5 most important cards that you'll have in this deck. The reason for that is because the Battle Lust will be your health regen. Now, it's not just regen, it also regens trauma. Say you take 1 trauma damage and then you kill 10 people, you will gain that trauma damage back and a bit more. Now, this combined with our next cards coming up means that you're going to start regenning trauma anytime you're killing the undead out there in the field. Next, 5 cards that are really important are going to be your tank cards. So this is going to be the durable, which will give you 15% trauma resistance, 10 health, and 20% fire resistance. Body armor, which is going to give you 20 trauma resistance. That's going to be 35% total so far. Then wooden armor, which is going to give you a massive 30% trauma resistance. So that combined with the 2 cards we've already got is going to give you a 65% trauma resistance. Not to mention, if you remember in the first set of 5 cards, we are also regenning our trauma damage each time we're hitting things. Another card to add in is the Vanguard card. Now this will allow you to heal 1 health to yourself and 1 health to teammates within 10 meters. The last card that you're going to need that's going to complete your tank build, or your resistance I should say, will be the Scar Tissue card. Now the Scar Tissue card is a bit of a weird one, I understand, but as with the wooden armor, we're going to take 100% fire resistance away from ourselves. So if we do set fire to ourselves, we're going to take a lot of damage from that. So, you know, just be aware, be scared of fire. Yes, fire, fire, fire. A lot of the enemies you'll come across in the field are going to be a lot of these exploder variants and vomit variants. And that's why this 50% acid resistance and taking 1 less damage overall is going to be a huge buff for us, especially seeing as we're already healing as we're taking down any enemies that come across our path anyway. Now the last 5 cards, they're still important in my opinion, but they can be kind of interchangeable. I personally wouldn't change most of these, but that's completely up to you. Of course, this is just a build to kind of set you on your melee Wolverine days. So the first one is Heavy Hitter. So this will mean that any kind of enemy that you come across, that could be just a normal ridden, it could be a variant like a mutation, they will stumble the first time you hit them. Now that's really important because say you have, I don't know, a tall boy running at you. As he goes to hit you, if you hit him first, he's going to stumble and not be able to hit you for a little while. If you're at max stacks of your stamina speed, or your melee speed, you will probably be able to take him down before he's able to hit you again. The second one then is going to be a Ignore the Pain card, which is 20% melee damage against mutations, and also when you deal damage against any mutation, you're going to heal 2 health and 3 stamina. So you're going to heal for attacking the mutations, which at the speed that you're going to melee, say you get, I don't know, 10 attacks in a second, that's 20 health a second that you're regenning just by meleeing an enemy. You're also dealing all of that damage on top. The next one is True Grit. Now True Grit is a bit of a weird one. You can kind of swap this out for a couple of different cards, which we'll get to near the end, kind of substitute cards, but the True Grit card gives you a kind of bit of recuperation. So when you get hit for 15 or more damage, you're going to recover 10 health over 5 seconds. So that's really useful for if you say get exploded, or if one of the turbos does manage to hit you, you're going to then start recovering 10 health out of what they did to you, which is just going to give you that little bit of an edge off of what they do damage wise to you. The other 2 cards from this last 5 set are probably the more important ones. Would be Spiky Bits, which is 15 extra melee damage and 20% damage resistance while using a melee weapon, and also Mean Drunk, which is going to give you a 40% uplift in your melee damage, but it's also going to mean that you cleave. Now that's really important for killing lots of enemies in one swing. Now if you want to keep your friends, I would suggest with this build you make sure you are at the front and they are at the back. Tell them to run an AR build or a sniper rifle build or something other than shotguns, because if they're anywhere in the range of you, this mean drunk card is going to mean that you're going to hit them as well as the enemies. And that is the cards, guys. So that covers off the cards that make up our build. Now, the next thing to kind of point out is the weapons that go with the cards. So the main weapons you're going to want to use this build with are going to be the baseball bat. So using the baseball bat with the build is good. It's got good stamina efficiency, even at level 1 where it's just a plain grey baseball bat. It's got a good melee speed, and you're going to deal decent damage with it. The next melee weapon to use it with would be the machete. Now the machete is a really solid weapon to use it with. It's got really good stamina efficiency. It's got a slightly uplift in damage in comparison to the baseball bat. So it means you are going to take down things faster than if you're using the baseball bat, but it's completely up to you. I personally prefer the baseball bat just because who doesn't like hitting things with a spiked bat, but it's up to you. Now, I would rate probably the baseball bat and the machete as a solid A tier. Now, if you want the S plus tier, you are going to want the claws. The claws, in my opinion, are the best weapon for melee in the game. They are the best stamina efficiency, the damage that you deal, and also you apply a bleed effect that will mean that any enemy that you start attacking, if you don't kill them straight away, they're going to bleed and they're going to get more damage just from the bleed. Personally, I would always run claws. If I'm ever in game and I'm using a baseball bat or machete and I see a set of claws, even if I'm on a blue baseball bat and they're grey claws, I'm swapping because they are just that good. Let's talk about the cleaners that you can use in the build. So Evangelo is probably the best that you could use for the build. The reason for it is the stamina regen that he gains. The move speed for the team is kind of negligible. It's only 5% uplift. But the main thing is this right here. It's going to be the fact that every minute he can break out of being grappled by an enemy. Now that's super important because if you've noticed, we haven't included the breakout card within our deck. Now the reason for that is primarily because I will run Evangelo and there's no need for the breakout card, but also because we want to be able to stack as much healing, as much damage, and as much stamina efficiency for meleeing as possible within the deck. So personally, I feel like it's probably not needed, the breakout card, especially if you play Evangelo and run him. The other option, if you don't like Evangelo, is Holly. Holly is a great character to run because of her health when she kills a Ridden. Now, you're already gaining 2 health, some trauma damage back just straight off the bat using your deck. You're also, if you're attacking a mutation, that goes up to 4 health per smack, and you're gaining a lot more health as you go. But with Holly, you are gonna then uplift that by a single health. It doesn't sound like much, but if you've got 100 health, you kill 100 hidden, you've restored your entire health bar once. And that's just if you're restoring 1 health and you're restoring more than that. The other viable character to run, I personally wouldn't, but it's completely down to you, is Charisse. Charisse is a really good character, primarily because she has trauma resistance. She has a massive trauma resistance, which can kind of be that you could swap some cards out that give you trauma resistance and put in some other stuff. With Charisse's trauma resistance, you have 65% base in your card deck as it is. If you don't take any of that out and you use her trauma resistance as well, that's going to give you a huge 90% trauma resistance. But the one downside is that she starts with a fire axe. The fire axe does really good damage, but it would be more suited to a heavy hitter build than a fast acting, speedy ball of blades. Let's call it the ball of blades. I'm totally not gonna go in and change the melee build that I put the ball of blade. Anyway, so it's copyrighted. You can't use that, YouTube. You can't use that. Okay, it's mine. Ball of blades. So cards you could substitute that will kind of affect the build, but might be more beneficial for you is the scar tissue card, which the scar tissue card is gonna mean that you take 1 less damage from all ridden and you get 50% acid resistance. You can also potentially get rid of true grit, which is when you take a single hit for 15 or more damage and recover 10 health over 5 seconds. And the reason for that is because even if you take that 15 or more damage, it doesn't really matter if you're killing things quickly. You're gonna recover that health fast anyway, so realistically speaking, it's kind of a good card to have, but not necessary. And you could probably substitute these cards with things like Soften Up, which is going to reduce the melee hits, are going to reduce the target's damage to a maximum of 15%. So you can smack the target 5 times to gain a maximum of 15% reduced damage. It's a substitute card that you could go for. You could also go for Confident Killer. Confident Killer is a really, really good card. And all it means is when you or your team kills a mutation, you're going to gain a 1% damage uplift to a maximum of 15% until the end of the level. Now, especially on the harder difficulties, so anything above Veteran, you're going to face mutations like no tomorrow. They're going to come out of the woodwork at you. And that means that you're going to gain just a standard 15% buff to your damage just by having it in your deck. And again, you could substitute it for some healing, you could substitute it for the scar tissue, you could also substitute it for Vanguard, and maybe you just drop the 1 health and you have the, if you're using Holly, you use that to make up for the health. You can also potentially work out a breakout card into this. So for instance, if you're finding that you're too efficient with your stamina, you could probably get rid of maybe Slugger, which is going to give you 10% melee stamina efficiency and 20% attack speed. You could get rid of Slugger and add in the breakout card. That gives you then the freedom to choose who you want to, because the only time you're going to worry about it with a different character, so say if you're playing Holly or Sharice, is if you get pinned down. I think this is a really good solid melee build. It works for no hope. You can take down the ogre with the help of your AI friends or with the help of normal friends as well. You can definitely outdo the damage that the ogre will throw at you if you're consistently killing things. If you're not consistently killing things, the ogre can kind of burst you down because he does do a heck of a lot of damage, and you got to remember you are under his feet. So you're going to be very careful because just him walking means that you can just get absolutely smacked. And he will knock you back, and that will stagger you for a second or two. And if he just keeps walking at you, he will keep staggering you, keep staggering you. So, that's my melee build. I hope you guys enjoyed, and here is the results of the melee build. I am now absolutely blasting speed-wise. Now, I can just absolutely hammer through these without worrying. I've got some temporary health rolling. There you go, that one's coming. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna kill this snitch in a second. Again, this is where you can see we don't want our teammates to come and be with us, because if they walk towards us, We are literally just going to absolutely decimate them. You can see that they've already taken, just the AI as well, have already taken damage. And like if I hit one of them, so let's say Jim, that's a lot of damage that we deal to poor bot Jim. Hit him in the face with a spiked baseball bat. He's not going to thank us for that, but that's okay. So we just absolutely walk it down right now. You know, we're still running at 164 out of 155 max health right now. And we're using a great baseball bat. So let's just get going, see how much we can really go for this build. So it's not going to be really spicy until we start getting some mutations in. And you can see the melee stamina efficiency is still kind of like important. We haven't actually dropped yet below our max health. Oh, there we go. We got a mutation right there. Let's run over and get him. Come here, mutation. Come here, little boy. No, I need... Thank you. So you can see the damage that we do is pretty huge. The stumble there effective as we hit the mutation, and we gained a huge amount of health because of the healing that we have. Now that's the reason why I ran the breakout card this time, is because I'm running Holly. So I substituted it purely for that reason. We're just gonna run over the top here, and let's see what we can see down here. You know what? Let's grab the memento. There we go. There's some zombies trying to climb up. No thank you, zombie. Now, as long as we stay above our max health, we will start, as long as we don't take any damage, we're going to start going with, we're going to start recovering our trauma. So we saw our max health drop to 154 for a second there. And now it's gone back up to 155. We have got a hag here. Now this could be a little bit difficult, but we'll try it out. Give it a go. So we're now at full melee speed. She's trying to eat us. We're getting back to it. There we go. So as you can see, like the amount of healing that we've got right now, we can just absolutely tank out a hag, no problem. We got a guy over here that's being pinned, so let's get rid of all of that. There you go, friend. And we are at a massive 240 health out of 155 because of the amount of healing that we're doing right now. So it's truly a huge build. Like it's really good fun to play as well. Like if you're running around, sprinting, enjoying yourself with your melee weapon, there's no better feeling. Oh no, there's a tall boy in here. No, that's a bruiser. Never mind. Let's break out of that, slap him in the face a couple of times. And we're just absolutely annihilating our friends, unfortunately. So that's why you don't want to be running this with your friends if it's in close quarters. And if it is in close quarters, you want them to remain as far behind you as possible. And we are into the first safe room without even a scratch. You know, it's safe to say our AI teammates there did get a bit of a scratch. Just one or two scratches. It's nothing too big, you know, just a careful and gentle baseball bat to the head. But realistically speaking, if you're not wanting to run no hope difficulty, then you don't really need to run no hope. If you're just having fun on veteran, this build is absolutely for you. You can literally run veteran difficulty with your eyes shut. I'm going to buy some armor here because we're going to take on the ogre. And we're just going to do a very, very quick demonstration about what happens when you take on an ogre with this build. We did see it just a second ago with Evangelo, like right at the start of the YouTube video. But we're gonna run this with Holly and the breakout card, just so that we can see exactly what it's like. I mean, we've got exploding enemies as well. So, I mean, there is that. Oh, she's got herself stuck there. And again, if you don't have the breakout card, there are items that can be useful to deal with that, which are like the stun gun. So there you go, I just got hit, and this is what I was talking about with the stun from the ogre. Even just him walking, he'll hit you and he will stun you. But again, you can see we're quite literally tanking out the ogre on no hope difficulty. Let's recover our teammate right here real quick. He's gonna throw a meatball at us. That's not fun. I can't see anything now because my teammate decided to do that. And that shows the major issue with this build is the fire. If you've got fire damage on you, that's gonna suck. There we go. So we saw how it fed. You know, the ogre himself. Let's just take over Prophet Dan and shoot a little bit. So we were able to tank out the ogre when we had lots of enemies around. As soon as the ogre is on his own though, it does kind of suck a little bit because it's a little bit tough to get that healing off without him just staggering you continually. Yeah, go in your hole. Enjoy. So that's the melee build, guys. So on no hope difficulty, you can absolutely take on the ogre. It is viable if you've got teammates rather than for AI friends. Then maybe you will stand a better chance with the ogre, and your friends will be able to draw his aggro, so you can shove your machete where the sun doesn't shine. If that's not the case and you don't have any friends, then you can still take it on AI. No problems at all. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, leave me some comments to let me know you liked it. Hang on 1 second. Rude, we're recording a YouTube video here, do you mind? Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching the video. And if you liked it, be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And if there's a specific build you want me to look into, then please let me know. For now, though, peace out and goodbye.